Welcome back to 340 Paddler, and we are on to week 3, where you will start looking like Braxton Carter. Maybe not, but maybe we'll get to that point. Anyway, at this point you're thinking, wow, I haven't done much, I'm going to sink like a Volkswagen at Marion. And that's possible, but not likely. With the 340, it's not about just paddling fitness. General fitness will carry you a long way in this race, and I promise you we will get in the boat, but at the time of my recording this, it is currently December in Wisconsin. We are suffering from hard water. And so I'm assuming that that's going to be the situation for you. If you can get in the boat, fantastic. So, we are on to week 3, and I've used the same image. Well, we'll deal with that. And in week 2, our goals for week 2 were to run 15 minutes continuously 3 times per week, or bike 20 minutes continuously 3 times per week, or swim 15 minutes more or less continuously 3 times per week. Now, if you haven't gotten to those goals, and preferably you've gotten to these goals and you're doing them a couple of times, so you're doing a couple of 15-minute runs without a problem, a couple of 20-minute bike sessions without a problem, whatever your discipline is that you're using for cardio, I want you to be able to hit these marks a couple of times before moving on. If that's you haven't hit that mark yet, then stick with week 2. Do not advance too fast. I don't want an overuse injury. So let's look at week 3. Now, if you watched last week's video, I talked about the progression. None of this is a surprise. Running, I'm looking for about 20 minutes of continuous running 3 days per week. You should be in that 2-mile ballpark, maybe 1.5 miles, 2 miles, maybe over 2 miles. Biking, about 25 minutes. Swimming, about 20 minutes. 3 days per week. Keep that heart rate low so that we're lowering that risk of overuse. We're also getting used to functioning in the aerobic zone, that heart rate zone. Sometimes it's called zone 3 on some heart rate monitors and that sort of thing. So that's what we're looking at. Now, what about strength? Obviously, we all want to talk about strength training, but you have to keep in mind our race is more similar to something like an Ironman or a marathon than anything else, or an ultramarathon. You don't see ultramarathoners out there hitting the weight room 6 days a week. That being said, for some people, weights and strength training will be helpful, but is highly individualized. So while I will go through some activities, some exercises in this program, I'm not going to set up a strength program, because to me, a strength program is something that is very, very individual. So there are some options in terms of strength. If you have a gym or gym membership, and I'm a member of our local YMCA, which is a fairly inexpensive option, you could look at Planet Fitness, you could look at Anytime Fitness, whatever it's going to be. Planet Fitness is, I think, $10 a month. So, and sometimes your local high school might have open hours in the weight room, so you can always use that. So, if that is available to you, there's always the Jamie Eason Live Fit program at bodybuilder.com. You look up her program, it's behind a paywall, so I think it's $9 a month. There are ways around it. I'm not going to share those here. Or you could do some kind of simple push-pull split. So I don't like isolation exercises. I like full chain exercises. So doing a push day and a pull day. Push day would be things like shoulder press, push-up, or bench press. Pull day would be pull-ups, lat pull-downs, various rows, and working those into a split, always progressing. You don't want to stay doing the same thing for more than a couple of weeks and then you move on to the next activity. It tends to work best. Let's say you don't have a gym membership, but you have some equipment. You would want to focus on shoulders and back, because that's where people will run into problems first. And you can do a simple push-pull split. focusing on, for example, push-ups and pull-ups. You have no equipment, but you have a Walmart. You can use an over-the-door TRX strap. Now, Walmart has these. They're about $14 or somewhere in there. And you can do a row exercise where you're doing sets of 10, 12, 15, 20, and you can advance from 3 sets to 6 sets of 20. And then you can make it more difficult by lowering that strap down. You could get an exercise ball. That's great for the core work. In fact, we will use an exercise ball later in the program for core work because that is something that I will deal with. And one of those over-the-door pull-up bars is really useful. You can use it as a push-up bar to keep you off the ground. You can use it, obviously, for pull-ups. And if you have no equipment and you don't have a budget for equipment, that's fine too. You would want to go and check out Derby.com. Derby is a fantastic resource for bodyweight workouts that don't require any equipment. So definitely something to look into. I do believe that some kind of strength program is exceptionally useful for the 340. But make sure you're balancing it. Balance your strength with your time doing cardio and your time in the boat. And if you don't have time, strength is something that you can push to the side and focus on cardio, although I would do some basic shoulder exercises, which we may get into in the next couple of weeks. We want you to finish. I want you to finish. I want you to conquer the squirrel that is the 340. Okay, it's a horrible metaphor, but it's a funny slide. Anyway, I want you to eat the elephant. I want you to be successful. And if you follow these steps, you will get there. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, quarrels, qualms, quandaries, curse words, please leave them in the comments below or seek me out on Facebook in the 340 Paddler group. Otherwise, this is 340 Paddler, hoping that you keep your paddle in the water.